you got my last question there, but
I
the
didn't.
question was, it seems inevitable right now that most states are probably at some point going to adopt the birthday rule. With that being said, it's hard for an agent to keep track of all these different birthday rules, and really even for consumers. Do you think that there ever comes a time where we see a standardization on birthday rules federally? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I've never even considered this, and I've not been asked it. So I'm just going to shoot from the hip, right? Because Medigap is regulated by the state, each individual state, and not federally. I don't know, and that's not really my fear. Let me tell you what my greater fear is for Medicare supplement. My greater fear, right now there's 7 federal guaranteed issue rights for Medigap. Like if you're on an MA and you leave the service area or it leaves the service area, if you're on a group plan with A and B and the group plan ends, right? 7 federal GI rights. My fear is that the federal government's going to come out with a guaranteed issue right that if your doctor leaves your Medicare Advantage network, that gives you a GI right for a med sup. If that comes down the pipe, that will be worse than any anniversary or birthday rule. The reason I'm going to tell you it's worse is because now MA will have a lever that if Medigap's getting too strong in a state, they can dwindle their network down.
Yep.
They will have in their favor now when they negotiate with doctors and hospitals. Hey, if you don't accept us, we don't care, because now all your members on a Medigap, their rates are going to go through the roof because they're going to have guaranteed issue rights. Any of your members. Y'all following my train of thought here? That's my fear. So whether birthday rule anniversary rule is adopted, I don't know. Go ahead.
Yep. That network adequacy thing, I think that came up in the proposed rule, if I'm not mistaken, which definitely seems to
It
be a
did.
good protection, consumer protection for consumers and everybody. But there's some unintended consequences that come along with that.
Correct. Correct. Because we do have issues with ghost networks on MA. Brian, how long ago were you out in the field?
It's been about 5 years. I mean, I've been in the game since
Sure.
2004 when Medicare Advantage first came on the circuit.
Sure. Do you remember writing an MA and on whatever carrier, doesn't matter. You could select their network, see if their doctor was in the network from the carrier's app. You choose the doctor, it shows they're in network. You write the plan during AEP January the 5th, 7th, 8th when your client goes to the doctor, it turns out they haven't been in the network for years. It's a ghost network. You experienced that before? Yeah, many times.
Oh, I've
So
seen it. Yeah.
that's nonsense. Yeah, that's nonsense that does need to be fixed. The second nonsense that needs to be fixed, right now, Medicare Advantage is paid a star bonus based on how many physicians they
That's
have in
another
certain zip codes.
podcast.
Yeah, that's another podcast, brother. I don't know if I'm on that one, but they get paid a star bonus based on how many physicians they have in certain zip codes on CMS's website in their little tool, right? Their physician selector tool. Well, the problem is they may show a billion physicians. But when you try to book an appointment with that doctor's either not accepting new Medicare clients or they're not accepting new MA clients from that exact Medicare Advantage plan. So even though they show in network, there's no way you can even have them as your physician. That's a ghost network. Stuff like that needs to get fixed. Absolutely, because it's not right for the consumer. So I've got a lot of negative things and positive things I can say about MA or Medigap. My greatest fear, though, is that federal GI right will come for that. And if that comes, hold your hats. That's going to be a bad day. That would be a bad day.
That seems to be maybe a good topic for one of your Medicare Minute videos that you do. And speaking of the Medicare Minute videos, you get an incredible knack for making complicated topics easy to understand. I'm a big fan of those videos. I learn a lot from them every single week, especially coming
Thank
from
you.
somebody that's been in the industry for over 20 years. What's your process behind those? And is there a lot of research planning behind the scenes, or are you just kind of shooting from the hip and being spontaneous? I think I know the
I
answer to
shoot
that
it
after
spontaneous.
interviewing
I
you
do.
so
I
far.
shoot it spontaneous. Unless I find like a news article. Like I did one that was about Mayo Clinic, Memorial Sloan, and a few other hospitals that were leaving several MA plans. And bro, that one blew up. I got like 200 something thousand views. I was so happy about that. Bunch of like 2,000 responses, comment. Anyways. So For anyone, I would suggest any agent who's comfortable needs to be doing this. You need to be promoting's not the right word, but I'm going to use it. You need to be promoting yourself as an authority on the subject. You should. Now, make sure you're right about what you're talking about. Don't go out there and start saying crazy things. That's why I like to cite sources when I'm talking the best I can. But I would suggest that any agent do this, and it doesn't have to be perfect. My videos are not perfect. I filmed them from my cell phone, the front camera, so I can look at myself and see if my hair's in my face or if I have some food on my teeth or something like that. And just in my little office right here with a boring, bland background that I have this little white tree that I switch it up every now and then in the background because one of my people saw it and commented on it. So I keep that tree in almost every background now. No, yeah, these are random. Because I've been doing this so long and I have so many agents that reach out to me. I mean, we've got over 10,000 agents that I'm working with right now that I get calls and texts and questions all the time. And one of the best things, this is just a gift from the Lord, it feels like. One of the best things I got to do is I went on there one time and said, "Hey guys, I'm running out of stuff. If you have questions, please ask me so I can have some more ideas." And then people started shooting me all kind of questions. And that helped me so much because it doesn't just give you content, it gives you an idea about what agents are tripping over, right? What they're stumbling over. And I think the content I'm bringing, I'm not talking about what Part B's premium is. That's not my niche. That's not really who I'm talking to. I'm talking to I'm most likely talking to the agent who's more than 6 months in this industry, who has at least a scratch of an idea how things tend to work, all the way to an agent who's been here as long as they need to have been, and helping them with the intricacies of what's going down with Medigap, MA, and the federal government. Because a lot of people understand they understand how Medigap works, they understand how MA works. They just don't understand how it works. I find a lot of agents think that MA is like this ethereal, angelic thing that's doing something that's impossible to do. So when you can go behind the scenes and be like, no, this is how these things work. It seems to be popular. It seems to help. So find your niche and go for it.